Okay, we'll get started with Caleb Kelly. Ryan Aber?
Yeah, Caleb, thanks for taking the time to do this today.
Sure.
And good to talk to you again. When did you realize that this injury was as serious as it was? Was it immediate? And what happened on the play? And just, what are the last 72 hours or so been like for you as you've sort of processed everything?
Okay, so first, running through the play, we had the first punt, and then I think we just misaligned, and so we had to do. So I ran down, and I think I even downed the punt on that first one, and then we had to re-kick, and I think it went to commercial break, so much of the fans, everybody didn't even get to see it, and so then I came down on the second one, and they were double teaming our front guys, like our guards and tackles. And so us shield guys were just kind of standing there. And so I was just taking off like immediately. I'd look to see if anybody was coming and I'd just take off. And so I just wanted to add a hat as fast as possible because Turk can kick that thing. And so I was just running down, and then a guy picked me up because the first time I went totally unblocked. And then the second time a guy was picking me up. And so I just went to throw him by. And when I just stuck my foot and threw him by, I guess the pressure just was too much and it just wiggled and popped. And then it actually hurt a lot instantly. Like it just got real stiff really fast. And so even on the other ones, on the other ACLs that I had, it hurt, but I just don't remember it like being that stiff that quick. And so I pretty much knew what it was. They had to straighten my leg. I couldn't even do it on my own. And I remember before in the other ones, I think I was able to. And so, yeah, I knew right away what it was. I got up. It was crazy. I didn't cry or anything. Like I asked Chris Watson, I said, I tore it. And he was like, yeah, it looks like it. And I said, well, hey, that's that. And so then walking out, I was just looking at the crowd and everybody. I was like, dang, this is the last time like I'll be fully dressed in the OU uniform. And so I was just taking it all in. Fans were cheering me on the way out and everything too. And so it was cool. But last 72 hours, there's been a lot of like calling. I still haven't like cried or anything. Like I haven't really been emotional. I addressed the team. I said, if you guys need somebody to play for, like play for Big Bro. Like, I mean, let's do what we need to do. Cause we really did have a good week of practice last week, even though the game didn't end up the way we wanted to. I think it was one of our best weeks of practice. And so, I mean, it was just like, we just got to keep pushing, keep doing what we need to do, making plays when they come to us. And then I said, if you guys need somebody to play for me, and didn't cry then. I think I did a little something with Chris Plank, didn't cry then. And it's just like, yeah, it's crazy. I just feel, honestly, like I just feel okay with it. Last year, I was really, really sad. And like I tried to fight it. This year, I don't know. I'm just not sad. I'm just like, hey, it is what it is. And so, yeah, I've been really uplifted. I mean, I've been in a goofy mood today. Like I've had a real positive day. Yesterday, I was really good. And yeah, the only thing that's bothered me is just pain of being hurt, like the actual physical pain. Other than that, I've been good. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Caleb. Thank you.
Sure.
Eric Bailey?
Caleb, I'll be honest, it really hurt to see the news. It really did when you tweeted that out. So I'll just, from a personal perspective, I want to start with that. Look back, it seemed like a long time ago you played against Louisiana Monroe. And I just want to ask you, do you have a favorite? I know you have a lot of favorite team moments, but do you have a favorite individual moment of your time at Oklahoma?
Individuals, that's really hard. I mean, the individual plays I made, there's been a bunch of big ones at the right times, always seem like, and I kind of got known for that a little bit, to have those big game-changing plays. Individually, it's really hard. I mean, I've had so many different teammates that I've played with. I've had so many different and guys that I've been able to be around and call my brothers and help them when they've been down, and they've helped me when I've been down. And so individually it's really hard. Like when you try to look back, I mean, you can think of individual plays, but other than that, like you just constantly looking back, like in my mind, like it's just all the different faces of all the guys that I've gotten to play with. And it's like, wow, like what a blessing, like that those dudes have told me like they love me and they mean it. And those dudes call me and check on me and everything as soon as they hear, and everybody's all devastated and everything. And I've seen more people cry than I have about me being hurt. And so it's just funny, like just that love, I think, is just the biggest thing that it comes to my mind. And my favorite thing for sure is just the love of my teammates and my coaches and everybody that has put time into me.
Let me do a follow too on another player teammate that's been there as long as you have almost. When I asked you about Brian Mead and just, you guys are going out the same year, and he was, right there when you were on the field. We saw a video of him out there with you. Can you just talk about what that meant to you and what he's really meant to this program?
Yeah. So in that instant, it's actually really funny because, well, I guess the little backstory, Brian Mead and I moved in on the same day because we both moved in a week late. For whatever reason, his private school ended a week late, the same time that I did in California. We end in June, and so when we came in together. He was my first workout partner, like rack mate. I mean, all the way through, we worked out together. There were a couple times where we had different rack partners or whatever, but we finished the last, I think, 3 years together again. I think the only my sophomore, junior year, I wasn't lifting with him. So I've lifted with him all the time. I mean, I've been in and out linebacker room, so I've been around him, but we lived in Haddington together. I mean, like one of my very first friends, my best friend back home, his name is Brian, and it's spelled the same way with a Y instead of an I. And so when I met Brian, that was like the first thing he said, well, shoot, let's just make it happen here too. And I said, you know what, that sounds good to me. And it's funny because it just panned out that way. Like, he's really one of my best friends. I'm going to be in his wedding and everything. Like, it's really cool how close we are and just how much he's been there for me through everything. And so, yeah, that's the backstory on that. On the play, where he's there, he was praying at first, said a quick prayer. I didn't even hear it because I'm freaking out. Like, I'm like yelling, like, my knee and everything. And then after he said his prayer, he kept on saying, Caleb, can you hear me? Because like I'm like just out of it, just freaking out. And all of a sudden, like, I snap out of it because I think his sweat dripped on my face or something. And so I snapped out of it and I look at him, I say, I can hear you, get out of my face. Just like that. And so like he got me out of the mindset, out of that hurt mindset, and I was back to normal. And so, yeah, it was funny. I know that was posted and that I was laughing as soon as I saw it, but no, I love him to death. I mean, I can't wait to be in his wedding too, but can't wait to cheer him on this week and just everything he's done for this university. He played the most snaps ever by a Sooner, and I mean, he's just a selfless guy. He'll do anything that this university has asked of him. He's been on scout teams, on all the special teams since the freshman year. And I mean, he's even gotten real playing time as a walk-on, earned a scholarship. So, I mean, and it was one of those earlier years. It wasn't like sometimes we just do it at the end of their time. He got real years earning his scholarship. And so, I mean, I'm proud of him. I love him to death. He's my brother for real. And so, off the field, behind the cameras and everything. And so, yeah, that's my guy.
Caleb, thanks so much. All my best moving forward for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Jason Kersey.
Yeah, Caleb, thanks for doing this today. Wanted to ask you, what's in your future? Are you still going to make a run at the NFL, or are you going to move on from football? What does your future look like?
Yeah, it all happened so quick. I mean, if you would ask me a week ago, I would have said, well, I'm probably going to go train in Tampa and go do all that. And so, I mean, it's hard because I don't know if I'm allowed to share. Well, I guess I am, it's me, but like I'm going to have surgery in a week. And so I'll still be here. And so I don't know what role, because there's no way I'm going to go this year. I'm not going to go have pro day this year. I'm not going to do so. If I am to continue football, it won't be until next year's draft and next year's pro day. And so that's a whole lot of time to live. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. Either if I can get a scholarship here somehow and continue to live here, then I'd be fine doing that in the spring, whether I'm in a coaching role or recruiting role or whatever I do, that would be cool. Or if not, and then cards don't work out for football, then I've gotten a bunch of offers to do a lot of different things automatically and already, just in the connections I've had and things I've done here. So I feel like either way is fine. It's hard for me to say, like, if I'm 40, looking back, like I didn't even try, even though I went through all the pain and all the surgeries. I feel like it might be better to get cut than to not even try. And so I don't know, we'll see, but time will have to tell on that more than I can.
And a quick follow-up, are you going to be appearing on Big Noon Kickoff with Bob on Saturday?
Yeah, I talked to Coach Soups today, so I'm on there.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Bob Priscilla.
Caleb, how would you describe your OU experience, and from who you were as a true freshman almost 6 years ago to the person that you are now?
I think describing the experience is I experienced everything. I experienced the highest highs, the lowest lows. kind of even that gray area in the middle where you got to find different niches, different roles. And I mean, coming in freshman All-American, 5-star guy and all that took me till game 7 to play, where I thought maybe I would just come in right away. And, everybody when they're younger has that mindset. And then starting almost every game sophomore year, but one, I think, and then having that weird junior year where I didn't really play much because Buzzy beat me out and I had moved positions and had surgery, and then moved back and had a better year in the last half of the season than I had the previous 2 years. And then didn't know if I should just go to the league or if I should just stay, wanted to have a full season senior year, then having all these injuries. I think I've gone through a lot. I don't know. It's been a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but I've always found just so much joy, like being with my teammates and being around them. Like I think in the last year, because of COVID, I was so separated from the team. That was just really hard. And I think the other years, even though I was hurt so much, I've been hurt freaking all the time. It was always okay because I was always around my teammates, and there was always that love that I mentioned previously. And so I just think, I mean, it's not the way I wanted it to go, for sure. I wanted to be 3 and out, the K9 route, started a true freshman, game 1, you play all the way through, you get drafted first round. That's what I wanted for myself. But I mean, God had a different plan. And I feel like all the different guys that I've gotten to affect because I've been here so long and all the different things I've done has really set me up for my future academically. And I just think all the opportunities that have come through that is something that I do not regret at all. And I'm very happy for. And so I'm appreciative of everything that's happened, but it's definitely been a long road. I've been one of the longest guys around because everybody thinks I'm the oldest because I played early, but then I mean, there's guys older than me that are on the team still. And so it's just so funny how everything kind of worked out. But I love the position I'm in, and I love this university in general. So
Appreciate it, Caleb.
Yeah.
Jesse Crimson.
Hey, Caleb, I really appreciate your time today, man. I just wanted to ask, I know this year obviously it didn't end the way you wanted it to, but just what was this season like for you, to come back from those previous injuries to come and make an impact, and even, that fumble recovery, obviously at OU Texas, just what was this like? What was this year like for you?
Yeah, this year's been, honestly, it's been one of the most fun just because I've made sure to appreciate everything. Because, I mean, when I found out that I was moving to a different position behind Nick Bedino, I knew instantly, like, okay, I'm not going to be a starter. I mean, that's fact. He's an All-American. And so you just know, like, okay, now I'm in a new role that I haven't been since freshman year. And so I've had the opportunity to kind of appreciate everything, appreciate those big plays that other people have made, where I only really got to do that when I was hurt, and appreciate everything that those guys do in and out every single day. All my teammates, where it used to be me making kind of like, okay, all the pressure's on you, I kind of felt like it was lifted off of me this year, and I could just go and have fun and just make those big plays when they came to me. And so I think this year it's been different for sure. It wasn't like the senior year that I would have wanted either way because I wasn't a starter, but it ended up being something that I could really enjoy just because it was like, okay, now I don't really have that weight on me. I can just play as hard as I can, do every special teams, make the most of every play, and then, I mean, just do what I can and really be a team player instead of be that individual guy who's also a team player, which it happens a lot when you're one of the stars. And so it was a good year overall, and I made probably more plays than what was expected of me, I guess. And so, yeah, I had a lot of fun. That's all I can say.
Appreciate it, Caleb. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
James Hill.
Caleb, I'm going to tell you, I really appreciate covering you. Thanks for letting me cover you. We did it in high school coming out of Clovis, and, we've been together a long time, and I'm rooting for you, whatever you do, and good luck always. I'm curious, you're the perfect guy to ask, what does it mean to be an Oklahoma Suitor?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Oklahoma Sooner, the first thing you do is you need to find out what that means. you need to know like what is a Sooner, like why did the name come about. That's the first thing you got to do, because nobody knows like but us, I feel like. So for like a recruit coming in, you need to look that up. Why are they called Oklahoma Sooners? But then after that, you just need to know that this university is already established. The Oklahoma Sooner name, the brand, everything that comes with it is already established. So you're not going to change this university. You need to come in and add to it as best as you can. And that's just the mindset of an Oklahoma Sooner. I'm going to come here and give as much as I can get out. And whatever you give is what you will get. I mean, you come in and you give everything. You give your work ethic, your body, your mind to this game and to this university. You can get out. You can really be a first rounder. You can really have a great NFL career. You can really have all those things. And then on the flip side, you have all the connections and all the network that comes with it. Being an Oklahoma Sooner really, for me, is just going through anything without giving up. It's just that adversity and perseverance, because when I first came in, it was all about, we have to be the toughest team. We have to be the toughest team. And it's continued all the way through. And you want to play Oklahoma Sooners, you are knowing, you have that mindset that, we might really get beat down. That's what the other team should feel coming in to play Oklahoma. And that's the expectation. And so I just feel like being Oklahoma Sooners, being a man and being tough and just loving the game of football and loving people. Like this is Midwest kind of South, where you get to really be friendly and love people. But when you get to go on the field, your goal is to smash somebody and really, really dominate a game. It's not to just come in and even just win. It's to come in and dominate in everything you do, especially when you have that Sooners on your chest.
Caleb, good luck always, buddy.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Ryan Aber.
Yeah, Caleb, following up on something Jason asked you a little bit ago about the big noon kickoff. What's your relationship like with Bob Stoops now? What was that conversation like? Because you are the last player who had actually played in a game for him.
Yeah.
Around here.
Yeah. What it was like was I saw that they were coming last week, and I was like, that's fun because Coach Bob was coming in. And then when I got hurt, I was like, it would be really cool if I could go on there. And nobody like had the idea or anything. Like, I just had it on my own when I saw that he was there. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to hit him up. And I just did it on Twitter, and he replied back. And then I saw him today because he always comes to practice. And I asked him, I was like, are we good to go? And he said, oh yeah, you're in there. And he was like, you got the spot and everything. I told you, I tweeted back, you saw it. And that's just how he is. He's like, that's why I felt like it was something I could do, because he's such a down to earth guy. He's always been that way. Whenever I would talk to him on the phone in recruiting, I'd be like, Coach Bobby Stoops, and he wouldn't get mad at me or anything. My mom would get mad at me for addressing him as Bobby, and I'd be like, I swear he doesn't care. Like, he likes it. Like, it's okay. And so I don't know. My relationship with him has always been good. He's cussed me out. I mean, that's what every coach is supposed to do. And he's cared for me and really shown me a lot of love, especially in injuries and everything. And so, yeah, I mean, he brought me here, and it's really cool that I get the send off with him as well. So that's just pretty much how it came about.
And you talked about how much fun you've had this season in a different role outside of the Texas moment, which obviously stands out to pretty much everybody. What did you most enjoy about this season?
About the season, I just think being a captain was a lot cooler than I expected. It was a lot more responsibility than I might have wanted. To be honest, it's just a lot of guys you got to worry about. Like, when you are a captain, like, guys come up and they just bring you their problems, and you may not even be in the right mindset to hear that right then and there, but you got to lock in right away, because I mean, these guys can trust you automatically when you're a captain. And so I just think it was a lot of responsibility, but it was something that I really have enjoyed. Like, I really do care about these guys, and I always have. But when you have that title, you kind of get that open door from everybody, to where when you are talking to them, they're listening and they really care what you have to say, and it's not going in one ear and out the other. And it's just been a really cool experience, especially with the young guys, getting to talk to them and be there for them, because I mean, those ups and downs the first years are really hard. And so that's probably been my favorite part that surprised me the most was being a captain and how much impact you really do have as a captain here.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, Caleb. Good luck with everything, man.
Thank you.
Okay, last one for Caleb, Brandon Drum.
Hey, Caleb. You embraced Caleb Williams as you were coming off the field, or he embraced you, one or the other. Can you talk about that exchange and what brought that about? Did he see the look on your face? Did the sideline kind of have a feeling of what was going on at that point, and that's what kind of brought him out to you? And how close are you guys at this point?
Well, on that, honestly, I just saw him, and I mean, I knew what had happened. But when I came back out in my jersey, I had got a stinger earlier in the game, and so everybody thought that my shoulder was hurting. And so I wore a black sleeve, and I had long shorts on, and so a lot of guys didn't even know that I had hurt my knee. Because I walked off normal, and so they just thought that it was my shoulder. And so I don't think he knew at that moment. I don't know what he knew, but I mean, I always say something to him every time I walk by him, just because that's QB1 right now, and so it's important to make sure that my young guy knows, like, I got his back. And so then I just was giving him a hug, and actually I think he did ask me. I don't know, a lot of stuff happened right there, but I'm pretty sure he asked me if I was good, and I said, I'm out, like I'm done. And he was like, okay, I got you. And then he just gave me a hug real quick. But when he came in, Coach Viney, well, I guess he's just Viney right now in this role, but he came in and told me that, like, that was the guy that he wanted me to look out for, just because I don't know, he was going to pair up older guys with younger guys in the new program. And that was the one I got paired with just randomly. I don't know if it was because of the name or the 5-star thing or whatever, but immediately I went up and talked to him and introduced myself and just kind of told him, like, look, if you need anything, let me know. And so I've talked to him a couple times just outside of, like, the facilities, but I feel like he is a younger guy that I'm pretty close to, that surprised me because he's an offensive guy. He's a quarterback, but I don't know. I love the kid. He's got a great heart, a great soul, and you can see it. Everybody gravitates to him. He's really just one of those quarterbacks that can just change. Like, he can change a place, and no matter what he's doing. And so I'm proud of him and the way he handled himself prior to starting and after, when he has been starting. He hasn't been disrespectful. He hasn't done anything rude. He's just been trying to play football as hard as he can, and he's a freak athlete. So, I mean, I'm so proud of him. But that's pretty much what I can say on Caleb. Love that kid for real.
Hey, man, congratulations on everything. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Caleb.
Thanks, Caleb.